Most people think long-term food storage means one thing: cans, shelves full of cans. But here's what they don't realize: cans are heavy, they take up space, and over long periods, they're not the most efficient way to store food. There's another category that serious long-term planners rely on: powdered food, lightweight, compact, and in some cases, capable of lasting decades, not years, decades. But here's the problem: most people either ignore powdered foods completely or assume they're low quality or not worth storing, which is why they miss some of the most efficient storage options available. So today, we're going through 12 powdered foods that can last 25 years or more when stored properly, and more importantly, which ones actually matter, because not all powdered foods are worth your time. Let's start with something that surprises a lot of people: powdered eggs. At first it sounds strange, but this is one of the most useful long-term storage items you can have. Why? Because eggs are incredibly versatile. They're used in baking, cooking, even basic meals. And fresh eggs? They don't last long. Powdered eggs solve that problem. They take something fragile and turn it into something stable. Now we move to one of the most important items on this entire list: powdered milk. This is a staple in long-term storage for a reason. It's used everywhere: drinks, cooking, oats, and unlike fresh milk, it doesn't depend on refrigeration. When stored properly, it can last for years, even decades in sealed conditions. And in a long-term situation, something as simple as milk becomes a big deal. Next is something more modern: whey protein powder. This isn't just for fitness, it's one of the most efficient ways to store protein. Compact, easy to mix, and very controlled in portions. When you're thinking long-term, protein becomes harder to maintain. This solves that problem in a simple way. Now let's talk about something people almost never think about: powdered butter. Fats are critical. They give you energy, they help your body function properly, but fats don't usually last long in storage. Powdered butter extends that. It gives you the ability to add calories and improve meals, without relying on fresh ingredients. Next is powdered cheese. This is one of those items that doesn't seem essential until you don't have it, because flavor matters. Over time, eating bland food becomes difficult. Mentally, not just physically, powdered cheese turns basic meals into something better. And that matters more than people expect. Now we move to powdered peanut butter. This is lighter than regular peanut butter, easier to store, and still gives you protein and some fats. It's not a complete replacement, but it's efficient, and efficiency is the theme of this entire list. Next is powdered coconut milk. This is a strong addition. It provides fats, adds variety, and works in both meals and drinks. Again, it's about balance, not just surviving, but maintaining your diet over time. Now let's talk about convenience. Powdered soup mixes. These are simple. Just add water, and you have something that feels like a meal. That matters, because in long-term situations, ease becomes important. The less effort required, the better. Now we move into something a bit different: freeze-dried fruit powder. This is where people underestimate value, because it's not just food, it's nutrients, vitamins, natural sugar, and something sweet. That combination is powerful over time. Next is freeze-dried vegetable powder. This is honestly one of the most overlooked items out there. I mean, it doesn't really feel all that exciting, but it actually solves a real problem: nutrients. When your diet becomes limited, missing nutrients really adds up. This helps balance that out. Now we move to something extremely practical: instant potato flakes. These are honestly one of the easiest ways to store carbs. They're cheap, filling, and long-lasting when sealed properly. They're simple, but they work, and at the end of the day, that's what matters. Finally, here's something people don't really expect: powdered honey. Or, honey crystals. Regular honey already lasts a long time, but powdered versions make it just so much easier to store and use. It gives you quick energy and adds variety, which, again, becomes pretty important over time. Now here's the part most people miss: Shelf life doesn't just depend on the food, it depends on storage, because even the best items on this list won't last if they're stored poorly. So here's what actually matters: keep them sealed, dry, away from heat, and protected from air. This is why you'll often see vacuum sealing, airtight containers, oxygen absorbers, because air and moisture are the real enemies, not time. And here's another mistake people make. They assume long shelf life means they can ignore the food, but you still need to rotate, check, and understand what you have, because the goal isn't just to store food, it's to make sure it's usable when you need it. Now think about this: if something disrupted food supply for a long time, would your current setup last? Not just days, not just weeks, but months, or longer. Most people don't think that far ahead, and that's fine, but even small changes make a difference. Adding a few of these items, building slowly, over time, and suddenly, you're not relying on short-term solutions anymore. You're building something more stable, more flexible, more reliable. And if you combine this with what we covered before, canned foods, long-lasting staples, foods that work without power, you start to build something most people don't have. A system, not random food, not panic buying. A system that actually makes sense, and that's the difference. If you want to take it even further, there are foods people store that actually go bad faster than they think, and mistakes that quietly destroy long-term storage without people noticing. That's what we're breaking down next.